We are having our usual get-together. Thank you so much for being part of it here on WTIC. We'll get back to phone calls in a couple of minutes, but right now joining us is Senator Rob Sampson. He is a new guy in the state Senate, having served in the other side of the building earlier. So it's good to have him in the Senate. Good to have him here on WTIC. How are you, Rob?
Always happy to join you, Todd. I'm doing great.
So it's a busy, hectic, crazy time with so much being considered, so many proposals, so much realignment philosophically with the Democrats having more power now. What is, yesterday we had some focus on the House side of things with conversation about what was going on with the Transportation Committee, just because we were having House guests on. And let's talk a little Senate action and what things are looking like from your perspective.
Well, I'll just say that the Democrats are certainly getting their dream agenda through the committee process. Just in the past few days, of course, I'm sure your listeners know that they passed 3 separate bills on tolls.
Yep.
They passed the FMLA mandate. I think there's been a bill passed about the public option for insurance. There are bills before us about inmates voting. Yesterday, they passed a provision out of committee for early voting. There was some gun control that passed yesterday. Big, terrible thing on illegal immigration, an expansion that protects really criminals among that population. You
want to talk about that one a little bit, since you use such pejorative terms?
Yes. No,
you wanted to discuss the illegal immigration measure?
Yeah, Todd.
Hello, Rob. We lost his cell, I guess. 860-522-9842. We'll see if we can reconnect with Rob. Rob Sampson back connected. I guess we hit a bad cell. So fill us in, please, on the illegal immigration matter that happened yesterday.
Yeah, so sorry about that, Todd. Don't know what happened. But I will say that I was enjoying your conversation about Malcolm X. And, it's a very similar situation because I think he saw himself as a freedom fighter for a class of people that was not reaching their full potential because of systemic problems in America. And the situation with illegal immigration is a very similar one because I believe that the political parties, and particularly the Democrats, have done a really good job of maintaining because it benefits them to constantly have this political device to use illegal immigrants as pawns to constantly characterize people that stand for the rule of law as if they're bigoted or racist. And we saw that even yesterday debating a bill in the Judiciary Committee that would expand the current law in Connecticut, which protects illegal immigrants in general, but now would protect ones that even have a criminal background.
So they were calling people racist for not wanting to protect the non-rights of non-Americans?
Yeah, it's just an implication that constantly comes from the left and from people that support these policies, that unless you support policies that benefit...
Yeah, you've got to be there 100% with them. All right, hold on one sec. Rob Sampson is here, state senator. We'll talk more after traffic and weather together on the 8th. All right, we're talking to Senator Rob Sampson. And there is a ton going on in Hartford, but he's filling us in right now on a measure Democrats are pushing that he says would provide protections for people in the country illegally who really should not be receiving these protections. What are they exactly, Rob?
Well, under the current law, which was passed in 2013 or 14, I can't remember, it's called the Trust Act. And the notion behind it was that we wanted people who were living in Connecticut but undocumented to still be able to contact their local law enforcement in case they were aware of a criminal who lived next door or a gang member or a crime being committed. And they wanted to be able to have them trust, thus the word Trust Act, their local law enforcement officials by being able to contact them to report the crime without fear of being deported. And basically, they put this law into place that says that those local law enforcement officials cannot cooperate with the federal government. ICE or immigration officials who have supremacy and they have the right under our federal law, which is supreme, to actually remove those folks. And now what they're doing is, well, back then they actually carved out certain people and said, look, we'll still, not protect people that have criminal backgrounds, or they're on the terrorist watch list, or they're a known gang member, or there's a judicial warrant out for them, or these kind of things. And now what they're trying to do is to essentially remove those exceptions and protect those folks also, which to me shows how disingenuous the original law is, since if now you're a otherwise law-abiding, undocumented person who lives in Bridgeport and your neighbor's an MS-13 gang member, guess what? You can't report him now because he's protected too.
Well, that's pretty grotesque. What do you think the justification is in the mind of the left for making this move? Is it raw politics from your perspective?
It is raw politics. That's exactly what it is. It is a move by them to ingratiate themselves with this population at the expense of public safety, at a tremendous cost to our state and federal governments. It costs billions of dollars across the country, probably costs over $1 billion just in Connecticut. They keep setting up policies to attract this population to our state. We have drive-only licenses for undocumented folks. We have in-state tuition. This year, they're talking about giving them the chance to buy different types of health insurance. And not to mention that, they're trying to pass a law right now that says that illegal aliens are eligible for state benefits, Husky benefits. This is a bad, bad policy. There's a reason why we have a lawful immigration system. It is meant to protect us from the harmful elements among the very nice and kind average person who is coming here from another country.
All right, so let's call this what it is. These are pieces of sanctuary state legislation.
Oh, yes. Oh, it definitely makes our state a sanctuary state. No question about that.
Okay, so
I would say we were beforehand.
All right, but now it's a super sanctuary state. That's not a bad name for it, too, because the Democrats will celebrate that. They'll run around and parade. But it's important for people who believe in law and order and believe that America, like every country, has a right to control its own borders, certainly a lot more aggressively than we do, and that calling everybody a racist for trying to uphold those laws, that we should really be mad at people who are afraid to stand up to that accusation and say it's manipulative, it's malicious, and it's wrong.
That's right, and it's even dangerous to that population themselves. Look, if the people on the left really cared, they would be advocating for a change in our federal immigration law to allow these people to come out of the shadows, get a work permit, something like that. But they don't want that. They like the status quo, and the status quo is to have this shadow population of people who are never going to get to experience the full extent of the American dream because they don't have the right to work lawfully, and they're constantly living in the shadows.
Wow, so you're saying this is even malicious towards the population that they claim to be defending?
Yes, and in fact, it's worse than that in this particular case because now they're essentially giving more reason for the criminal element, the gang members, the drug dealers, the human traffickers to hide in these populations of otherwise decent people who are just looking for a better life.
Okay, we've got about 2 minutes left. Anything else you can fill us in on?
Well, I started the conversation by saying that the Democrats are getting their dream agenda, all of these things that they want are passing. Yes. Mm-hmm. But now they're going to have to figure out how they're going to pay for things. So that's what we got to keep an eye out for over the next couple of weeks. And I will say one other thing, and that is that you may have heard that there are all of these toll forums going on all over Connecticut being hosted by the two Republican ranking members of the Transportation Committee, Senator Henry Martin and Representative Laura Devlin. And I'm actually hosting one in Waterbury tonight at Crosby High School, 7 to 8:30 p.m. If anyone's interested and wants to come learn what really they're up to with the tolls.
Okay, so that's tonight?
That is tonight.
7 o'clock?
7 p.m. till 8:30 p.m., Crosby High School, east end of Waterbury.
Good promo. I like it. Well done, Rob. You are you are a shining star in the state Senate, and as that group of people shrinks, people standing up for conservative values, you become more important. So thank you for all the work you do.
Thank you for what you do on the radio every day, and I enjoy the bumper music especially.
Yeah, well, that's not me. That's the amazing Mike. So thank you for that, Rob, and we'll talk to you again next week.